he think less of Americans who support Trump than he does of those who do not? Yeah. And two, why is he using that kind of rhetoric? How is that presidential?
So a couple of things. So just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. And so just want to make that very clear for folks who are watching.
Republicans have something new to pretend to be upset about. And it's the fact that last night on a Zoom call, President Biden referred to the disgusting comments about Puerto Rico made during Donald Trump Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, calling out the clearly racist rhetoric that was being pushed for what it is, garbage. And Republicans have spun this up into Joe Biden attacking half the country. And oh no, the poor victimized MAGA supporters, it's utter nonsense and unfortunate. Ely. It was the only thing that reporters wanted to ask Jean-Pierre about during her press briefing today, but she shut them all down, including one Fox reporter with an incredible takedown that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into Jean-Pierre perfect takedown of the first question that she was asked, trying to spin up controversy over this comment.
Just address the president's comments yesterday, referring to Trump supporter as garbage. And I know he's tried to clarify that he was trying to talk about what the person said. But one, I guess I want to know, does he think less of Americans who support Trump than he does of those who do not? Yeah. And two, why is he using that kind of rhetoric? How is that presidential?
So a couple of things. So just to clarify, he was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. And so just want to make that very clear for folks who are watching. And I just want to read that out to folks. So he was regarding to the comedian, and I quote, "I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at the rally don't reflect who we are as a nation." And to your question, your other question that you asked, no, he does not view Trump supporters or anybody who supports Trump as garbage. That is not what he views. The president has said this for more than 3 years now. He has said multiple times that he is a president for all. It doesn't matter if you live in a red state. It doesn't matter if you live in a blue state. He has said this himself. I have said it on his behalf. He believes that he's a president for all. And it doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter if you voted for him or not. He's a president for all. But hateful rhetoric that he hears, and this is something that we've done many times from here, we will call that out. We will call that out. And that's what the president said.
Does he have any regret for not being more, his language was not specific. It came out, if you were listening to that video.
I was in the room, Amr, I was in the room.
I'm sure, but if you were
listening,
but if you were any sort of normal person listening to that video or looking at the clips online, you could come to the conclusion that he was calling, at minimum, this one man garbage, or not, if not all Trump supporters garbage. Does he regret not being more precise with his language? And does he also?
I'm waiting for the question to end, but keep going.
And I apologize.
Yeah,
and the second part of that is, does he have any regret for how this has shadowed Vice President Harris's campaign?
So a couple of things there, because there's a lot that you laid out. Look, the president wanted to clarify because he understood that what he may have said he understood that what he was saying was being taken out of context. So he wanted to be very, very clear about what he was trying to say. And I just read that out once over. You all have the tweet, or the statement that's on X. If you want to read it right now, feel free to do so. And he was talking about hateful rhetoric. And we've called out hateful rhetoric from here. We have. Obviously, this hateful rhetoric was about a particular community, a community that the Puerto Rican community. They are Americans. This is a community that he respects, and he wanted to make sure he called that out. And hateful rhetoric should be called out. It should be. But at the same time, the president is a president for all. He will continue to do so. He will continue to serve for everyone. I want to step back for a second because I think this is really important. Yesterday, we went to Baltimore, Maryland. He announced a $3 billion project in Baltimore. That $3 billion project is going to help 27 states. 11 of those states have Republican governors. This is what this president cares about, making sure that people who are in need get the assistance that they need. Right? He talked about port infrastructure. And we went to Baltimore. Obviously, we know what happened a couple of months ago with one of the bridges there, $147 million for Maryland in particular. But just think about it, 27 states, 11 states are Republican governors. And we're talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, which only Democrats voted for. Republicans didn't vote for that. Republicans tried to repeal that. Let's not forget what the speaker said yesterday about ACA, wanted to repeal ACA, which would hurt millions of Americans. And so that's what the president wants to focus on, which is why he wanted to make sure he clarified what he said. But if there is hateful rhetoric that is being said about communities, Americans, communities across this country, he's going to speak out about it. And it's not the first time that he's done so.
This is such a non-story, and it shows how desperate the media is to come up with some criticism of the Harris campaign, no matter how small it may be. And their complaint about Vice President Harris is that President Biden, on his own terms, called out something that we have all across the board condemned, which was Donald Trump, Madison Square Garden rally, and all the vile language coming out of it. This is a non-story, and it should not get any attention other than the fact to say that President Biden was right with his assumption. And even if he had just come out and say that MAGA is garbage, he would have been spot on there too. I hate to say, well, actually, I don't hate to say it. I'm happy to say it. But again, like I said, reporters continue to ask, with one Fox reporter specifically pushing back and pushing back and pushing back, and Karine shut that down here.
And then just second, the vice president is facing questions about his comments today. So does the president regret at all the distraction this is causing from her campaign in these final days?
Here's what I'll say. Yes, the vice president spoke to this, and she said herself that the president clarified these statements. Look, what I will say, and she also said, obviously, and you all saw this, that she believes that it doesn't matter who you vote for, right? People should have their ability to make their decisions for themselves, which is something that this president also agrees on. And I'm not going to, you all are covering this election, you all can speak to if this is a distraction or not. What I can speak to is the president wanted to make sure that he clarified his statement, and he did so.
And the vice president did say today she strongly disagrees with anybody who offers criticism of people based on who they vote for and why they vote for them. Mm-hmm. Does the president view that differently?
Yes, he feels the same way. He feels the same way as what she stated. But that's something that the president has been saying for some time. He has. He has been saying that it doesn't matter if you voted for him or not. He's your president. He's a president for all Americans, whether you're in a red state or a blue state. This is something that the president certainly believes. And he has been saying himself. He has said this himself. And that's why he didn't want what he said to be taken out of context. That's why he wanted to make sure it was clarified, because that is indeed what he believes. So he agrees with the vice president.
Fox has done everything they possibly can to sash Donald Trump and to pretend like him, constantly saying that America is a garbage can isn't a bad thing. So the idea that this has now become a problem for them, that they are now the victim of Joe Biden's harsh words, is absolute utter nonsense to me, especially when Donald Trump said this today in his rally.
I like this audience. I didn't say it. Well, the guys, who just said that? Who's this? He can handle himself. He screamed, "She's an idiot." But I didn't say it. I didn't say it. In fact, I'd like to admonish you, sir, you should not say that, please. This way, the press can't get me. You know, they say, well, I know he wanted. It's really good. Well, no, I don't accept that. I would never accept a thing like that. No, but she is. He can handle himself, that guy, too.
So some guy screams out from the crowd that Harris is an idiot. Donald Trump laughs, gets his fans to cheer, repeats it over and over. And Fox doesn't have a problem with that sitting. Vice President of the United States being attacked by a convicted felon, they don't have an issue there. It's ridiculous again, just trying to create some sort of story to cover Donald Trump. As for the real fact that he has actually been pushing this rhetoric, that he constantly attacks America, that he threatens states that don't have Republican governors, this is the instability and unhinged nature of Donald Trump. It's what VP Harris called him out for right here.
Because here's the thing, we know if he is elected on day one, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. When I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list. And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. That will be my focus every single day as president.
This is a guy who is increasingly unstable, increasingly out of it, increasingly unhinged, which only makes him more and more dangerous. Donald Trump has always been unfit for the presidency, but now more than ever. And it's pretty easy to tell, just watch him for a couple of minutes, especially during his rallies. And we did today during one rally, but there was a particular moment that I really liked when Donald Trump was talking about how no one leaves his rallies, and look what happened right behind him.
He watches our rallies. Everybody loves our rallies. We never have an empty seat. They try and demean us like that horrible, horrible person that I debated where she said, and people leave early. Nobody leaves early. If I saw them leaving early, you know what I would say? And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'd make America great again and not leave. Right? That way they could, but I've never had to do that.
Perfect karma, as he's talking about how no one leaves his route. Reese, you see someone leaving his rally, and I think we should all do that. We should all leave that rally behind. Leave Donald Trump behind. Let's move forward. MAGA is fed up. We're fed up. Everyone is fed up. Let's move on. And we're going to be talking about that every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart on the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.